Hey, you there. Thank you for watching and welcome to Forge Line Forever. Today I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing New Roxas map generator. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1 on the northern side of the map, also known as the blue team. And we'll end with Team 2, who's coloring on their side of the map with the red team. Starting off with Team 1's kind of more isolated player to the west, we have in Amethyst Purple, it is Triple F, FFF. He is a Seraphim. He's playing as an 1898 rated. To his ease, closer to the other drawings on Team 1's side of the map, we have the Royal Blue player of Swadoslav. He's playing as a UBF for this match as a 21-15 rated pair. He is the highest rated player on Team 1. And rounding out Team 1's lineup in Stitch Blue, another UEF, it is Newton playing as a 2008 rated again as a UEF. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have two UEF in the east and a Seraphim in the west. No Cybern or no Aeon Tech for Team 1. Starting off with Team 2's isolated player on the eastern side, we have an orange color orange. It is Eco Player 7. He's playing as a UEF as a 1730 rated. Towards the more center of the map, we have Team 2 Seraphim player of Wi-Fi. He is a 2363 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 2 and in the game overall. And rounding out Team 2, we have in Ruby Red barely beating out Team 1's highest rated player by 3 points of rating at 2118. It is Limes. He's playing as a Cybern. He is, again, a 2118 rated. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have one UEF and two Cyberns. So no Seraphim Tech and no Aeon Tech in this game, which means for the entirety of the match, I do have to say this, apologies to those loyal to the Princess. Hopefully you will enjoy the game nonetheless. And for these 6 players on the map, let's take a look at their reclaim situation currently sitting at... It's a little shy of 10,000 mass, but that's at least a little bit over 1,000 mass per player. So again, it's worth going after at a bare minimum. Not like yesterday's game with a just metric ton of reclaim on the map, but hey, it's something. It's better than nothing. I will say this though, the map does kind of make up for it a little bit, at least in the mechs department. Take a look at Team 2 side of the map. We'll ignore the middle mexes because those just kind of exist, I think, for a while. There is a 5-star mex position in the east with another 5-star kind of ish position in the west or southwest location of Eco Player's base. We do see a quad mech in the middle here and then another quad mech to the west. There are more mexes dotted around our players' bases, so they have a little bit of expansionary mexes as well as a couple of extras just to top off their mechs bar. Oh, sorry, their mass bar, excuse me. But the map can kind of lack mexes in the middle of the map. Literally, it's one causeway, kind of like Setton's a smidgen. We have the eastern pond and the western pond instead of the north and south in Setton's, and we have a causeway. We already see Team 1's player of Newton has dipped his toes in the pond and has started to produce some frigates and some subs, like the mixture there. On the eastern side, we do see a Naval facility has been established. Team 2 already has one on the western side as well, and Team 1 has one in there as well. So naval combat is going to occur in the west and in the east, and you best believe that there'll be action down the middle because that's the only way land units, besides teleporting and transporting, will get to the other side of the map. We already see players from both teams moving to said middle of the map again. Pretty much no reclaim there, just a nice little rock there. We do see Team 2's Wi-Fi and Eco Player, Eco Playing being the front man and Wi-Fi being the guy backstage. We do see Swadoslav is patrolling the middle of the map, making sure no nasty little T1 Mantis are moving around the map, or any other units moving around the map for that matter. We do see a wreck here, going to be partially scooped up by Team 2's Limes. We do see a nice little torp launcher capable sub online going after Triple F's Comet. Looks like that engineer might just get the job done. Good job, that engineer gets a decent amount of reclaim for itself. It will be reclaimed, but it will be definitely not forgotten. Now we see Team 2's Wi-Fi tired of being backstage, now on the front, helping to assist Eco Player, pushing on Team 1 side of the map. We do see neutrons over here to the east, and of course, not Wi-Fi, but Triple F is over there. We also see that Limes is over here on the western side as well, so we have Convicom interactions They might boop into one another, but that's pretty much about it in the water, unless somebody goes for a torpedo looking at you, Limes, and goes after the comm. But the first upgrade will go to Eco Player at 6 minutes on the dot, almost going for that gun upgrade. And he's, again, probably going to be assisted by Wi-Fi here shortly. And speaking of Wi-Fi, he's going to go for his own gun upgrade. And we do see Team 1, Swadoslav, going for his gun as well. And immediately cancels it. Was it something I said? I hope I didn't say something that caused him to not do that through the ether. Hopefully. Anyway, on the eastern side of the map, we do see Neutron has decided, okay, it's a party over here in the middle. So he's moving to the middle of the map. And it looks like Triple F still hanging out near his facilities, going for a Team 1 Torp launcher. And we do see some Torps on board of those subs. Once again, going after that frigate, trying to get out of... nope, doesn't get out of range. And there he goes. Team 2's Limes is here in the water again. No torpedo upgrade, so just there for funsies, I guess. But hey, he is there. He could build something nearby if he really, really wants to, but I hide it out. Looks like he's going for exclusively subs, which, again, it can work. The issue is if your opponent is using hover tech, those subs are immediately just ignored because hover isn't affected by torpedoes. So there's that. So I would like maybe a little bit of a mixture of some subs and frigates, just to some degree. And we do see T2 Naval Headquarters is being upgraded to as we speak. So maybe he'll transition to the Salems and call it a day, and he'll just have all of the stuff that produces torpedoes. I will note that at some point, Team 2 lost the eastern side of the map, the pond here, so there's that. And Team 1 has stationed some forces along most of the edges of the map to deny any sort of adventurous engineers. Speaking of adventurous, we have a couple of units making landfall, some Lobos going after a couple of mexes for Team 2's eastern front. Not looking good for Team 2 on the eastern front, though. Kind of exposed, one would say. We do see the guns for both Wi-Fi and for EcoPlayer are done. Swadoslav did finish his gun upgrade. Looks like he maybe had a power outage or some issue. He didn't want to build it. Neutron is moving into assist. It's 2v1 in terms of gun, but 2v2 in terms of comms. The first comm v comm action happens between EcoPlayer and Swadoslav. UEF versus UEF action. You hate to see it, but you might also love to see it, so it just depends whether you like the UEF or not. Neutron taking most of the shots from the forces from EcoPlayer, but now that they're coming into range of Swadoslav, looks like they're trying to focus in. T2 units nearby for Team 1's. Who's those? Those are Swadoslav's forces trying to gum up the works and allow him to escape. And not looking too great. EcoPlayer dropping into the red. He's not looking good. And now we have Neutron taking the damage, allowing Swadoslav to get a little bit more space between him and his opponents, so that way he can actually survive the encounter. T2 Destroyer is coming online for Team 1's Western Fleet. I'm going to assume the same thing happening for Team 2. We have EcoPlayer still in the red, about 2,800, so he will survive a comm explosion. And Neutron, again, just eating up those rounds from Wi-Fi. I guess they're more, I guess, plasma rounds. Yeah, you could still call them rounds. No upgrade yet for the western side for Team 1. Team 2's Wi-Fi, not Wi-Fi, but Limes is going for his stealth upgrade. A little bit surprised he's not going for a torpedo, but I guess there are T2 destroyers. Granted, there's not a lot of them online. There are a decent amount of subs, though, so there's that to consider. But for the most part, if you're going to go for torpedo as a Cybran, at least bare minimum, go for stealth just to try to hide yourself a little bit. And then after that, go for nano, so that way, of course, you get more regen, so you survive just a smidgen more longer. Nano repair immediately started for EcoPlayer. He's back up into the yellow. He is at first star vet, so 10% additional hit points and a smidgen more I was going to say reclaim, but regen. We do see some Riptides outbound from him going after the frigates. The frigates are going to deal with those. That's a net positive for Team 1, but they are going to take some damage nonetheless, those frigates. Do you see some forces starting to prevent any sort of courageous little units skirting the edge of that pond? And nano repair also starting for Swadoslav. Gun started for Neutron, so he's going to get into the gun game. And 66% in climbing. Wi-Fi is assisting him to help him get back up, at least at the mid, if not the high yellows. And Torpedo has been started on Lime's comm, so we went for Stealth, then Torpedo. I feel like maybe the other way around would be better, but, you know, it just depends on the priorities of the players, I guess. Maybe wants those additional hit points. You would probably assume that you would want to be able to shoot back first and then get some hit points, but you know, tomato potato. You know, it's almost sixes at that point. It just depends on the focus of the player at the time. And who am I to question an average of 2,000 plus in this game? So I'm just gonna sit here and cast and call it a day. Stealth started for Wi-Fi on his comp. I'm gonna go for Nano right after that. Swadoslav, not Swadoslav. Yeah, Swadoslav is going for his Nano on board, and looks like the gun is not done for Neutron. Looks like he cancels it. So we've had 2 gun cancels. The one for Swadoslav was just immediate. The other one for Neutron is a little bit more delayed. Torpedo 60 something percent. He's doing fine. He's still in the green. It's not great, but it's not bad. And then in the middle, Stealth almost at 50% for Wi-Fi. We do see some forces now inbound once again from Swadoslav, cutting off any sort of run-by opportunities for Team 2. I will note that Team 2 is kind of leaning towards that western side. Again, they're going after the player who's distracted with Navy on this western side. They're kind of, you know, falling into that, not necessarily a trap, but the, hey, Team 2, go this way, because Team 1's going to focus over there. Speaking of focusing, we have Eco Player being focused now by Swadoslav, Lobos, and a ton of pillars are inbound. We have some bricks inbound from Team 2's Wi-Fi, so T3 land is online, and Eco Player is losing hit points very, very quickly here. He is going to not make it out of here, and Swadoslav will take a calm explosion to the face, and so will Wi-Fi, speaking of which, but Swadoslav will die in the explosion just right after the death of Eco Player. So it was a kill for a kill. Team 1's highest rated player for Team 2's lowest rated player, and lowest rated player in the game. Saying lowest rated player for 1700 is very weird to say, so take that as you will. But it is now a 2v2 game, tied at 13 minutes, with Wi-Fi getting control of the eastern side and Neutron getting control of the eastern side, but actually more the middle of the map. Wi-Fi continuing to push, and yes, that could work as long as T3 land doesn't really magically appear and the Perseus start rolling. He should be fine for now. You know, soon he might want to fall back soon, but we'll see if he ends up doing it or not. And we do see some cruiser missiles inbound from Team 1. They are the Seraphim variety, not the UEF. And T2 has lost Navy on the western side, so both pawns have been secured, and Team 2's Limes is killed off by FFF or Triple F. Looks like it was due to some maybe missiles, maybe some laser weapons on board the destroyers, maybe some shots from the frigates. But now it's Wi-Fi versus the world, and he most definitely should not be up here, because he is all alone now. Not only alone with his units, we need no units nearby, but also alone in terms of there's no other players that are alive for Team 2. So it's just him versus the world, and if he dies, it's game over for Team 2. And he is pushing as much as he can. He has some forces over here as well, assisting him. Some Stingers spammed up to assist. Oh, they go after the E storage because they're very easy to go after. That's a nice little chunk of power storage, and as well as a P-gen goes up in flames. So not great, but Neutron should be fine for power. He has his own on that eastern side, so he should be fine. Emphasis on the word should. But with cruisers lining the coastline, or soon to be lining the coastline, the western front isn't going to look good, and we have the eastern front looking the exact same, and we have units dropped off and a facility established to pump out units on the mainland for Team 2. It's not looking good for Wi-Fi, and he's still pushing. The madman is still going. He will not stop. Can't stop, won't stop is his motto, I guess. And crazy enough, he only has 4 veterancy. He'll probably get up to 5 maybe with this P-gen kill. Nope, not there yet. Maybe he'll get up to the T2 air headquarters that he's going to soon destroy. And he's still here. He's being hit by Stingers. He's being hit by Janus fire napalm nonsense. He's been hitting by, I'm assuming, Team 1 bombers that are running overhead. At least I thought I saw some. And then Stinger's still coming in, and whatever's on the ground. He really wants that T2 air headquarters, just really desperately wants it. And he's almost at 5 stars. He just needs, what, less than 1,000 mass now? And he's gonna get the T2 air headquarters. He's still there. There he goes. He gets it. The base, once belonging to Swadoslav, is in tatter. It's not looking good. He's focusing this. He should be focusing this, is really what he should be focusing on. Oh, there he goes. Okay, never mind. Just casually throw out an overcharge, just like it's a Tuesday or something. Technically, this video's coming out on Thursday, but I think you get my point. And he's still here. How is this guy still alive? 16 minutes on the clock. He's in an enemy main base being hit by all of the nonsense, and he's still there. He's still alive. He is getting some assistance from some shielding. Love to see that. He doesn't even have nano. It's just stealth and gun. And this main base is gone. Granted, to be fair, the eastern side and the western side are either not looking good, or it's definitely not looking good, or it's just gone for Team 2. And their overall eco, I mean, his eco is at 200. Team 1's overall is 240, so still in the lead. That might soon change as we see some T2 mexes not still being focused down. There's that one that's almost dead. That's 2 shots from Wi-Fi's gun. Because he's cybering, it's not double the damage, it's just double the fire rate. 1 and 2, there he goes. And now the forces from Team 2's Wi-Fi now pushing eastward, moving into Neutron's position. A couple of bricks, one of them is heavily damaged, so not really going to get that much work out of that. But Parachute comes online for a brief moment, so that's going to keep him alive a little bit longer. It looks like the T2 air facility now for Neutron is going to be a target. And if they could wipe that out, that's no T2 air for Team 1. And I don't know what this is about, but Team 1's Western player of Triple F focusing on the naval incursion as well as landing troops to establish a frontline facility, at least some sort of resourcing options there. And look at this, Team 2 has changed it, or Wi-Fi, I keep saying Team 2, has changed it up. He's in the lead now for total mass recruit. Is he just going to reclaim? He's going to build some PD. He's going to build some AA, excuse me. This is his new home now. Like, he lives there. He has literally split Team 1 in half, which is impressive considering the fact that he's in Team 1 side of the map. He's there. What? He's still there. He's still alive. His bricks are still alive up here. He said, full send it. I'm going to divide and conquer it, literally. He divided and then he conquered. Or I guess he did the conquering and then he divided. Tomato, potato, same thing. T2 Mex is going down. That's still more eco being lost for Team 1's Neutron. Neutron, his power is not looking good. Oh, he lost all his pigeons. Remember that moment when I said that he had his own power and he was fine? Sorry. Kind of caster curses you there, Neutron. He's trying to build the T2 pigeon to try to get something back online. Go after this. Wipe this off, but I guess he has no power, which means he doesn't have a lot of mass, which means it doesn't really matter because he can't really build anything. T2 pigeon is back online, so there's that. But all those mexes are dead. Cruisers are trying to rein in. He's gonna set up his shop here, just reclaim a little bit, build some mexes, make this his new home. He's gonna build some spam facilities, already doing so down there. That is insane. We have this Western Front engagement. We have some Team D starting to come online, which is good to see, especially with the cruisers constantly raining in. And look at this. They've carved at least a section of that western side off. Eastern side's a little bit better, but I'd say there's definitely more mexes on the west than there is in the east. And Wi-Fi is still leading. It's 215 to 90. It makes me think that there's power outages for Neutron. Ooh, yeah, nah, not looking good for anybody for power this game for Team 1. A couple of Othams coming after some mexes and some radar stations. Wi-Fi's like, we can't have that. Get out of here. With more Othams are inbound. I think his stay is a hotel stay on Team 1's side of the map is done and over with. He's probably thinking, yeah, it's, I did some work and I'm just going to go home now. Looks like he's trying to chase those Othams. And the Othams are going to just ignore that brick. Team 2, or Wi-Fi's middle section of the map, not looking too great. Team D trying to be established, but Team 3 land facility, not looking too good. It's just too many missile command, not really working out for Wi-Fi, and he's going to lose it. There he goes. He still keeps his headquarters, so there is that. He still has UEF tech. He's producing some riptides because he can't produce any hover tech for himself because he's cybern. So he needs the UEF tech to be able to build that. Just something is better than nothing at that point. He has Wagners, so that's a thing, but those go under the water, not above the water. Western side, TMD looks like it's holding for now. Cruisers aren't numbering too much, and it's partly no, I guess the power's fixed now, but it was partly because the power was kind of out, which means these Team 1's Triple F and Neutron were producing less mass, because if you don't have power to run your mexes aren't going to run, or at least that effectively. Almost the wall section here from Wi-Fi pushing in on the coastline. We do see nice little T2 Uashabo destroyer being like, hey, what you doing? Hey, no, you can't go that way. Hey, stop it. And the bricks are like, man, we don't care. We're going to go where we want to go. Doesn't matter. And Wi-Fi is making that full retreat. Team 1 will be able to recover that base once belonging to Swaddleslav, but it is not going to look the way it was. You can't put Humpty Dumpty back together because the pieces just don't fit right the second time or third time or eighth time or whatever time that he falls off that wall. And 21 minutes on the clock. It's 2v1 in favor for Team 1 in terms of players, but in terms of eco, it's about the same now. 230 to about 220, it's 230-ish. It's close enough. Looks like somebody from Team 1's like, move your destroyers out of the way. Wi-Fi is like, well, I already have my 5-star vet, so those are just more kills for me. I'll just take those. That's more stuff I don't have to worry about later. And I feel like he's just going to turtle himself up. We do see some Optims that have said, hey, we're just going to kill off some mexes and kind of repeat what Wi-Fi did earlier. Some Zeus are inbound dealing with the Optims, but there's not... Okay, there's more of them inbound. Never mind. I was going to say, that's not going to be enough. That might be enough. There's that one. And they'll move on to the next one. Actually, they kind of missed all their shots, so never mind. Is that a bug? Why? If there's not really... I guess if there's no air facilities for Team 1, or at least even T2 at this point, you might as well build a bug, so... There's that. He doesn't even have his own T2 air headquarters. He just has a bug now, because why not? I guess if you have it, don't break it, or don't change it, or whatever, but... There's that. T2 air is online, upgrading T3 immediately. It's going to take a decent amount of time to get that online. And we do see T2 air also online on the western side. No T3 air yet. T3 land, of course, is online, and T2 not upgrading to T3. Eastern side, still T2. And I feel like they'll probably stay that way for a while. It's not really worth investing in T3 unless you really want aircraft carriers, which, the Seraphim at least I think they get missile launchers on board as well, so it kind of is worth it. But they have bigger problems to deal with. There's this bug, and he's kind of been buzzing around a little bit, and he's kind of causing some, annoyances. I like how his feet are still extended out. They're not curved up like you normally see. He's like, I'm going to land, but I'm not going to land, but I'm going to look like I'm going to land. Okay. He's not going to go after that sequestered set of mexes, but he'll go after more infrastructure. He's like, oh, I'm just not being shot at that much. Okay, this is fine. Killing off pigeons, killing off whatever he can touch. A couple of AA installations. He's being circled by, who is that? Was that Limes? He's like, go after this. And there's a lot of engineers here. And there's also some flak and whatnot from the cruisers nearby. And the bug's like, okay, I'll leave. Just hold on, let me deal with this other T3 AA installation. And I got it. Okay, I'm going to leave now. Nope, I'm going to stay. He's going to go after maybe the T3 land. Oh, there's some pigeons here. There are some interceptors, but again, that's not going to do a whole lot. Pigeons will be eliminated. He's up to almost 2-star vet on that bug. He's now up to 2-star vet on that bug. Kills off more power, wipes out more power. Power does not exist for Team 1. That's what I'm learning in this game. Team 1 just doesn't get power. They don't get nice things because Wi-Fi says no. And Wi-Fi continues to just destroy everything. He literally walked himself up, just the center of the map, destroyed everything, and went, okay, I'm done, and goes home. And now he sends his bug up the middle, and now he's going west. And I'm assuming it's over here to the east that will be his next target. Not even T3 air is online. Neutron doesn't have access to T3 anything because he doesn't have any sort of T3 facility online. Unless he didn't build anything on his comm, so... Still no T3. He really needs that facility. I don't know if he's going to go just straight ASF or go for engineers. You might just have to go for engineers just to get... Yep, he has to. He just has to get an engineer online to keep something. T1 AA being spammed up. That's going to be denied almost immediately upon arrival. And one engineer makes it off the assembly line. Pigeon's going to go down. Again, Team 1 can't have nice things with power. And... it looked like they were trying to reclaim the bug in the air. That'd be something if you could try to reclaim an air unit in the air. That would be interesting. And bug now going to go after T3 air headquarters. I think the engineer didn't make it out of there, so that facility's now gone. All that mass, all that energy, all the everything. The cruisers, again, the cruisers are actually doing the most AA for Team 1. And the bug, looking good, dropping into the red. 7,000, 6,000, 5,000, 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000, and he's gone. But he killed off a lot more mass, 56,000 mass. The T3 land headquarters and T3 air is fine, but the power is wrecked considerably. But Neutron not doing as well. He's gonna, there he is. Now he's power stalling. So Team 1 down to 19 mass a second. Wi-Fi, I mean, he's also down as well. He's taking considerable losses as well. But again, to be fair, he still has his main Cybern facility online. And because why not? If it worked well the first time, you might as well do it a second time. So there's that. But you see some Zooey just kind of hanging out over here. It looks like they're just kind of running around the map. Top couple of bricks starting to push out a little bit and go after at least the facilities and the units on the ground. The naval thing is a whole other thing. Good luck getting into the Navy at this point. But who knows? Maybe you could just have the bug wipe everything out. And Team 1's Triple F Control Ks, maybe he just says he says GG, so he feels like the game is already lost. It will give everything over to Neutron. It's now a 1v1 game at 27 minutes. At this point, let me know who you think is going to win the game, of course, if you haven't, because why not? Why not hit the like button, subscribe, do all the YouTube things at this point in the video. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Again, let me know down in the comments who you think is going to win. And this probably is the last day, if not the second to last day, something around there, to vote on the name of the the Titans that you want. Othams was the last one. I think Pantheon is currently winning, but I could be wrong. I haven't checked it in a minute. In a minute being like half a day or something. I think Pantheon was still winning, but again, it can easily change. It can be easily swayed, so let your votes, let your voice be heard by voting in that poll on the channel. You see a couple of bricks in the water trying to act as nice little submarines, and as much as I like the bricks being submarines, as much as Team or just Cybern in general have a bunch of stuff that have torpedoes on board, I mean, there's only so much you can do against destroyers that have torp defense. Again, bricks do as well, but 1,000 of anything will kill anything. So another bug is underway. It's about half done. Team 1, again, does not have air. They have T2 air. That's something. No T3 air. And I feel like at this point, you might as well just build that up to T3. It looks like he's probably trying to fix his power first. It looks like he has done that to some degree. But this this game has been kind of muted in terms of a lot of everything because Team 2 lost 2 players. Team 1 has also lost 2 players, to be fair. But Team 1 has lost power after power after power, which means they can't sustain their mexes, which means they lose a lot of their efficiency and they drop considerably. Oh, it also doesn't help that a Whalers is running around going after more mexes, and a bug just kind of rips through another huge section of the map. Looks like Neutron's establishing just something up here just to have some backup power. But without T3 air, it was decently hard to deal with that bug. The cruisers, if it wasn't for the Eastern and Western Navies building those cruisers, I think that bug would have been probably the last call for Team 1, but they were able to deal with it. The second bug is coming online though, and there are some Othams kind of taking a very long detour to get around, but hey, it's working. They're going after a weaker part of Wi-Fi's defenses. Some bricks are inbound. They're going, ooh, you go after our power, we're going to have to go after your power. Unfortunately, I think the mexes might be a better call at this point. They might get one of them. I don't think they're going to get both of them. And it's going to be reclaimed anyway, so any sort of AoE explosions are going to be nullified. And it was immediately restarted by that engineer, so there's that. He lost some power Wi-Fi, but he's fine. If he lost both of them, he would still be fine. And he's actually down here in the southeast with a nice little wall section escort of bricks. And looks like a lot of mexes have been targeted by Team 1's missiles. Or I don't know, the missiles can't reach that far. No, they can't reach that far. They must be something else. I don't know what that was. If units ran on by, I feel like that would have been, all of the other mass storages would be gone, but only a couple of them are dead. So it seems kind of weird. Anyway, eastern side, I mean, it's pretty much devoid of the everything. I think he lost access to UEF tech. I don't see any UEF engineers or anything. He could have one stowed away somewhere, which is entirely possible. But that is the thing to think about is if you're the only one on your team and you want access to UEF or Cybern or whatever technology and you're not that faction, you need to make sure at least you keep the hopes would be a T3 engineer, but at least some sort of engineer online to have some tech. Comments in the chat from Eco about something. I have no idea what he's saying, but he's saying something. I have no idea what it says. Eastern side, Neutron's definitely a good spot to sit, especially when your opponent has been raiding you with a gunship, which is now online once more. Can't shoot at you in the water, well, at least with that. So that's definitely a good strategy, hiding in the water there. It's a good strategy hiding in the water in general, but specifically in this situation, it's definitely good. Again, go after stuff that it can shoot at you and then shoot at everything else because they can't shoot back at you. And that cruiser really doing some work on that gunship. Granted, it's gone now, but it did do some work. So there is that. Looks like there's another cruiser online. And looks like a couple of destroyers hanging out on the edge, being like, just stay away. Please go away. T2 Navy is gone. But again, the Navy was already won by Team 1, 10, 15 minutes ago. Yeah, it's nice to have that buffer, but if there's nothing to fight back with or even build anything, it's you killed stuff off. Cool. Team 1 can reclaim that. We do see T2 Air. Oh, it's not going to die, but some lightning tanks are being built by Neutron just to get some mobile T3 AA online. And again, it's nice to see them. The only thing is, they're A, there's not a lot of them, and B, again, they're a bit focused of the bug. The bug has finally tucked its feet, though, so it actually looks proper in the air. It's just a huge hole. Look at all the dead stuff. He still has his... Well, he's rebuilding them up here, but he had a bunch of mexes up there at T2. I think we'll barely see T3 mexes this game just because of the constant death and rebuild and death and rebuild. Some ASFs are inbound. Some ASFs are also inbound from Team 2, unluckily for Team 1's Neutron. The bug does have some AA defenses, some being the key word. It's not as good, I think, as the Tsar. I think the Tsar has the best. I don't know how good the Awasa missile launchers are on board the bomber, but the Tsar is definitely the best when it comes to AA. It definitely has the longest range on board. One lonely brick just being sent, going after T1 mexes. It's a battle of T1 mexes at this point. How many mexes, or maybe T2s, but at least T1s. Something is better than nothing, and 2 mass a second is better than 0 mass a second. And it's also better the deny mex than having your opponent take it. But you see, the bulk of the AA, at least in the mobile department in the water, is over here. So that's probably not the best idea to go after, at least with the bug. Probably better off to go with either torp bombers or go after something that's easily spammable and you can easily just rebuild. T3 land, T3 air, of course. We have more of an air grid being built. I would love to see some sort of shielding maybe here or maybe even here just to protect not only the engineers but just the investment in the air, just to keep that online. We do see a couple more ASFs harassing the bug. It's not the bug harassing the ground, it's the ASF harassing the bug. And more ASFs are inbound. Not enough to kill it just yet. It's up to 2-star veterancy, working on its 3rd. And again, there is AA on board it, like I stated, so it's not completely defenseless. It's better to have ASFs, escorting it, but I think this is probably one of the best bug runs in sense of because I always hate on the bug. It's just the thing. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like the way it looks or anything. I just don't know what it is. I just don't like it. I really like the other two better. But there are cases like this one where it works. Mobile flak is inbound. That's not going to be healthy. And again, this is a perfect opportunity for Wi-Fi to engage a different route. He has been showing his opponent that it's been, air, essentially. It's been gunship, 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 gunship. I guess only 2 gunships. And I guess a couple of T3 ones. But Team 1 is focusing heavily on ASFs and AA. If he comes in with a couple of wall sections of bricks, that probably will be his base because, yeah, maybe he'll see it a mile away, but by the time he transitions, he does have T3 land, so he does have Perseus being built. There is that. But he's not focusing on it, which means it's an easier win, at least engagement for Wi-Fi. Look, one lonely brick running around. He's already killed off 1,400 mass, goes after another mex. That one's actually upgrading. Oh, that's almost T3. That one's going to hurt a little bit. ASFs and interceptors are stacking on Team 1 side of the map. I mean, yeah, there are some naval units in the water still, but effectively, Wi-Fi owns the western side of the map. Either that or is at least denied it at a bare minimum. The eastern side for his landmass side, it's not as definitively Team 1's. I mean, yeah, there are some mexes that have been rebuilt. They're not T2s, but at least it's something. The cruisers have created this kind of bubble of nothing exists except us in the bubble. But that bug is probably going to maybe wait for a twin or sibling or something. Oh, I thought that was a nuke, and I was going to say, okay, well, I guess that's one way to end the game. Speaking of nuke, let's look at what Team 1's up to. He has to be thinking about some sort of option. He has to win in one fell swoop. It can't be, piecemeal it, death by 1,000 cuts. It has to be one definitive, boom. I kill you, I go after you, game over, done, move on. The bug going after the AA, yeah, it does eliminate it. He will take significant damage from it. And, of course, the Authams are definitely something to consider at this point as well, just in case he runs into some issues with some land incursion. But he has dealt with most of the AA. Yeah, there's some AA on other units, but it's not as strong as the cruisers because they're literally designed for it. I do love the Omni Station Online for him as well. I would like to see one somewhere else. Maybe if he can get one up here, that'd be great. Because then he essentially has full awareness of the entire map for the most part. If he's lucky, he could probably get it there. Maybe. And speaking of which, this is what Team 2 can see, or at least Wi-Fi can see. And then this is what Neutron can see. He doesn't know anything what's happening besides what he's already scouted. He does have a T2. He's upgrading to probably... No, he's not upgrading to T3. So he's really kind of in the dark for the most part. He's playing very defensively, which he has to, because he's lost his play on the western side. He's lost everything on the western side in general. There is a stack of gunships, and that's great. That's going to kill off everything over here, but this is just an attempt at maybe some land incursion. Wi-Fi is focusing on air, at least to some degree. He's just trying to annoy Neutron at this point. He's kind of doing somewhat of a death by 1,000 cuts. He's not going just full send 1,000 troops in and see if he wins. Which again, 1,000 of anything, at least in that scenario, might kill something. It's just, he has ASF being produced. I'm totally surprised no one's trying to go for the nuclear option. No one's trying to go for anything else. But again, look at the mass incomes. Wi-Fi is double that of Neutron, and that's obviously indicative of the map that he currently has control of. A brick running in. There is an SMD that is smart for Neutron to do just in case. Wi-Fi's like, I'll go for a nuke. It'll wipe everything out. One fell swoop. Call it a day. I will say it now. If Neutron loses his main base on the land, he's probably going to control K and call it a day. Because there's really nothing he can come back from. The bug makes it back to friendlier territory. 72,000 mass killed. And with the other bug, that's over 100,000. That's probably about 125,000 mass killed with two bugs. Very good bugs. Very, very good bugs. More air grenade. He might just bomb Team 1 out of existence with some strats, maybe. The roaming band of stingers is kind of fun to watch. We're just running around the map going after whatever they guess they went into. There is some mobile AA being built, some bouncers. They are targeting those gunships quite nicely. I would like to see some flak, but hey, the AA is still nice nonetheless. And they're kind of doing strafing runs essentially, but that's not going to work. Maybe this next time he's going to kill off all of the conga line units inbound, but that's just the appetizer. The main course is actually inbound. A couple of bouncers, they're like, hey, let's go after these stingers. Make something out of them, I guess. There's two destroyers. Are they submerged? They are submerged, hanging out. They're just the remnants of the fleet from Team 1. And there's one of those Authams on the front lines, just hanging out. That's not going to go anywhere, though. It's kind of starting to look like a campaign game at this point. Or campaign level. Where you have your main base. You have a land somewhere on the map just kind of doing annoying things. And this is the other base. And then on the... Oh, here's some ASFs. They're moving in for the bug. There's some gunships kind of hanging out over here. That's not looking good. Well, they are team one. I guess they're, kind of a mixture of ones. And air fight just not gonna really work. I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's well, mass for team two side of the map specifically, but there's nothing really gained because who's ever left over, there's only three or four or five left. And yeah, that maybe give you a little bit more confidence to bring your gunships out a little bit, but not enough. And at this point, again, like I said, oh, I will note there is no SMD here. So if Neutron saw that, he could go for a nuke. Still doesn't know a whole lot about what's in that base. He saw a little bit of it, but not a lot. If he does go for a nuke, he might win the game with the nuke. I mean, both players will probably win the game with the nuke. But he did go for an SMD, so at least the first nuke from Team 2 will be denied at a bare minimum, unless the SMD is destroyed. No, not trying to cast a curse you there. But looks like it's just going to be spam units and call it a day. Just spam units in terms of just get units on the field and just send them at some point. We do see a couple of scouting parties of bricks, some Percy's from Team One's Neutron, but he's transitioning into land. We see a decent amount of AA, of course, already here. A couple of triads mixed in there. Would like to see maybe some Ravagers or so, just to get some sort of more further out defenses online. ASF's engaged once again. Again, it's just ones and twos at this point. It's really not a whole lot of stuff here in the air for either player, but the gunship is still there. And it's just not... Oh, no, there is an SMD now. Okay, he just built one. So if Team 1 has a nuke, they better use it now. No T3 Navy, so no sub-nukes or naval nukes or anything like that. And it's just not looking good for... I mean, there's no... There is a way for Neutron to come back, but the longer this game goes on... I mean, there's a Monkey Lord online for Team 2's Wi-Fi now. There's really not a whole lot going. And it might just end in a control K or maybe even a kill, but I just don't know. I just don't know if there's a way for Neutron to come back. Again, like I said, had he noticed the no nuke, the no SMD thing earlier, or even scouted a little bit more, he would have seen it. Gone for the nuke, bet everything on it, launched the nuke. Maybe Wi-Fi would have moved out of range, but he would have lost his, at least a huge chunk of his main base. So maybe that would have been enough, but with a Monkey Lord bearing down the front doors of Team 1's Neutron, or last remaining player, there's not much left here. Lots of spam inbound. And it's just not... Oh, the Monkey Lord is taking a decent amount of damage. He's targeting all of the PDs, just getting rid of those. We see more up to the north. We have P-Gens, of course, a little bit of an air grid. P-Gens are gone. Oh, if the SMD goes down, that's... I mean, that's not going to go well. Looks like comments in chat from Neutron. And there goes P-Gen, 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 P-Gen. No power for Team 1. No one man should have all that power. Bug comes in after, of course, most of the things are destroyed. Cruiser's going to come in. Maybe they'll get... Oh, no, they won't get the bug. The bug is losing hit points pretty quickly, though. And Neutron's base is gone. It's only moments before the game is over at this point. 45 minutes in climbing. His main base is gone. Couple of... Well, those are good. Oh, dead. T2 mech survives up there. That might be the only thing he has left. And one of the destroyers over there. Another destroyer over here is being shot at by a nice little Cormorant class torp bomber. I was trying to completely forgot the words for that. And he's going on to land. I don't know if he just wants to be killed off by the bug or something, but who knows? Those mexes are gone. The entire northern... He doesn't even get the mechs left. He has 2 units still alive. Still being the key word in that sentence. And it looks like that is the end of that destroyer. How is Neutron looking? Looks like he really wants to shoot at that whaler. But obviously he's in the water. Torp bombers are inbound. And I don't know if he'll teleport out of there and try to get out of there before he's killed off, but maybe he'll blow up. It's those are his two options at this point: either blow up or get out of there, whether it's a control kill or an actual kill. Oh, and it's an actual kill. And Wi-Fi gets the final kill for Team 2, 47 minutes almost on the clock. Definitely one of those games where it peaked and then it kind of just fell off. And those games happen from time to time, but I do think there was a chance for Neutron to come back at some points, but I just feel like maybe it's kind of hard to obviously tunnel vision, subcom brain, that, obviously the frustration, the exhaustion, all that sort of, it does set in, especially when it's all of the everything happening all at once kind of thing. He had a destroyer still alive, so that's something. But eh, I think a little bit more scouting would have helped. He may have been able to see there's no SMD. Maybe tried to spam load a nuke as quickly as possible. Yeah, he was kind of turtling in this corner anyways. And depending on when he built it, there was obviously still that bug to think about, but at least the base would have been dealt with for the most part. A lot of the eco, especially the power, would have been sucked away, and essentially it'd be the same situation where just Wi-Fi didn't have any power and he'd not be producing as much mass. But sometimes it just doesn't go that way, and obviously one team wins and one team loses for the most part. So it does happen that way. But again, let me know down in the comments what you thought about the game and the MVP. Obviously, Wi-Fi gets MVP. The Mad Lad himself just said, full send it with the comm, sit in an enemy base, destroy enemy base, and then go, this is my home now. Oh, no, I'll go home. It's fine. I'll go home. That's just how the game goes. Thank you so much for watching until the end of the video. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one.